All right, my friends, today we're talking about the moon, and each of you are having a lantern here that's going to be like your moon. And the first thing I want you to notice about your lantern is that it has a hook. Now, if you're looking at it and you're going, mine doesn't have a hook, well, that's the bottom. So flip it over. This is the hook. So this is the top of your moon. So when we work on this today, I want you to make sure that you have this part going towards the top. Now, you just watched a super cool video of all these different parts of the moon, and what I hope that you realized is that the moon is not just this big thing that we don't have any idea what's on it. You know, it's like, oh, that's cool. No, every single part of it is mapped. And so I'm just going to show you a few of my favorite places on the map, and you are going to be drawing it along with me using your silver metallic marker. Now, this is the top of my moon. I have this part facing me. This is the part that we always see from Earth. And the very first thing I want you to do is to put a little circle here, and I want you to draw some kind of things going out like this. You don't have to draw them exactly like sun rays, but you can just go like this a little bit. This is actually a crater that is called Copernicus. It is a very, very old crater, and it's one that you can always see if you look at the full moon. It's actually right here. Right here. That's Copernicus right there. And so if you ever look at the moon and you're looking at it real carefully and you're looking at a full moon, right about here you're going to see Copernicus. Now right here is a dot, and we're going to just put him right there. His name is Aristarchus, and he is always, always very bright on the moon too. And then the last but not least is my absolute favorite, and that is Tycho. So we have Aristarchus, we have Copernicus, and then right about down here we have a crater called Tycho. And Tycho is a little bit of a younger crater. These things that we're putting out here, they look kind of like rays. It's super cool. Gazillions and gazillions of years ago, when asteroids would hit the moon, it would have impact, and then the lava, the moon would create its own lava from inside the moon, and it would spill out over that area of impact, and it would all go streaming down, and that's what you're actually seeing there. So, in review, we have Aristarchus, Copernicus, Tycho, my personal favorite. So if you look at my moon map here, I have Aristarchus, Copernicus, and Tycho. Now, later on we are going to actually make this look a little bit more moonish. But for right now, I want you to put your pen away. I'd like you to make sure that you cap it so that it doesn't get ruined. And now I'm going to show you that we have 6 dots. There are 6 times that we attempted to land on the moon, and we actually landed. The first time was Apollo 11. And Apollo 11 actually went to a place called the Sea of Tranquility, and it's right over here. So I want you to take it off, and I want you to stick it on here, and just kind of go like that. So that's Apollo 11. We're not going to name it. I'm actually going to be giving you this map that you're going to go home with, and you can look at all the places that we're putting on so that you can read them for yourself. I just found the cap. But back over here. So that's Apollo 11. Apollo 11 was the first one that landed on the moon. That was exciting. Then we had Apollo 12. Apollo 12 is kind of just above Tycho here, a little bit to the left of Copernicus, and we're going to stick him right there. Apollo 12 went in November of 1969. This guy went in July. 11 went in July of 1969. So there was a lot going on. Then Apollo 13, guess what? You've heard that before. Houston, we have a problem. They had a malfunction on their rocket, so they never got to land. Poor guys. So 13 never landed. 14 landed really close to where 12 had landed. And they landed in 1971. So 2 years after the other, or one, let's see. Yeah, 1 year after the other guys landed, they were able to land there. So we have Apollo 11. Apollo 12, Apollo 14. Now way up here was where Apollo 15 landed. Right there. They landed in July of 1971. Then we have Apollo 16. They landed down here. Apollo 16 went in April of 1972. Oh boy. last but not least, we have Apollo 17, the very last time men went to the Earth, and they're over here. So now I really like it because you have your Aristarchus, your Copernicus, my favorite Tycho. You have all your Apollo landings, and now what I want for you to do is to do your mares and your highlands. Let me show you here. On the moon, there are areas that are darker and there are areas that are lighter. Just like a person who has white hair, you would consider them to be old. The white areas are the oldest. They are the oldest, and we call them the highlands. They're actually like the oldest part of the original moon's crust. The dark areas, when they used to look at the moon, they used to think that they were oceans, kind of like our Earth, you know? So they, back then, they spoke in Latin and they called it a mare, which is the word for ocean. But they were not oceans. When we started to study the moon, we saw, no, there's no water up there. That doesn't make any sense. And so what we actually found out is that these are all places where asteroids have hit it, and that it has, the lava has filled in. And so these are kind of newer areas because this is where the asteroids have hit and made it darker. So now you're just going to have fun with cotton balls, and you are going to fill in the rest of your moon. You're just going to take a cotton ball and you're going to go do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, and you're going to do your darker areas, and then you'll take your another cotton ball, and you'll go do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do to make it lighter. It's going to end up looking really, really cool. Have fun.